Hello there, I'm Mr. Simon Tarek. Today we'll talk about normalizing to the third normal form, which means we'll talk about the zero normal form, the first, the second, and the third normal form. Many students had a problem with this, so I thought of making a video and explaining what actually all this process is all about. Okay, so first of all, what you should know is there's some few terms that you should be able to explain, and you should have an idea. You should know what we mean by atomic, which basically means a field that is atomic contains only one data. For example, if I say a field that has the forename and the surname together, that is not atomic. Atomic means your forename has to be a separate field and your surname has to be a separate field. Now they're atomic. A composite key basically is a key that is made up of more than one field. I will discuss composite key as I proceed further. It's very interesting to know about what composite key is. So I'll be discussing right now. A database, data integrity, data redundancy basically means that your data, no unnecessary data is being repeated in your database so that your space is not being wasted. Duplicate data, field, foreign key, inconsistent data, normalization, primary key. Please go through all of these one by one. You can find these notes on my website, mrsime.com and mrsime.com. So let's start with the normalization process. What normalization is? Basically, the process of normalization is how you can use RDBMS to a lot of extent. If normalization was not there, there was no point of using relational database management system, because your database management system such as Excel will do the same thing unless and until you don't use your RDBMS properly. Yeah, okay. I sound Spanish right now. You don't get me. I'll explain you. Well, first of all, we're talking about is when data is duplicated in databases, it's known as data redundancy. We don't want any data to be duplicated. Now, what do we mean by that? Data redundancy can cause problems because obviously it will consist of inconsistent data and obviously it will take a lot of space. So I'll directly go to the example and we'll just talk about this. Unnormalized form or zero normal form. A database that is unnormalized has repeated entries of data. Okay, an unnormalized database, I've highlighted this in blue. An unnormalized database may also have data that is not atomic. Like I just talked about, that you have is a customer name that has both the forename and surname. So that's wrong. You cannot have a field that has two different entities, two different pieces of information. You have to make sure each and every field within your database is atomic, has its own information. First normal form. Okay. A database that is in first normal form does not have any repeating fields, and at the same time, all the fields in a database are atomic. Each record in a database is unique. Each record in a database will be unique. In order to create this, it has a unique identifier called a primary key. So this means in order to make a unnormalized data form into first normal form, you have to first of all make the fields atomic. Secondly, you have to have an identifier for every record which is known as a primary key. Okay, then you'll talk about the second normal form, which means any data that is not dependent on the primary key of that table will be separated. If you have some other data within a table that could be separated and you could make some other table out of it, you will be converting into second normal form. Third normal form is a further detailed process of the second normal form, which means in addition, any fields that are not directly related to each other can be separated again into other tables. At times, your work will be done in the second normal form, and at times you have to go to the third normal form. Now, we will talk about this. I'll explain you with example. This was just an overview. There are advantages and disadvantages of normalization. Please, you should be aware of this. Go through this. Make sure you know this. This could be really important for your exam. Advantages of normalization: the storage capacity will be increased, and since you will be saving less data, the database is easier to search. There's less data to search through. If the data is amended in an entry, this will be amended in all entries, which means if you make change in one, it will obviously have a link to the others. The integrity of data in the database is increased as there is no repeating entries of data, and this could cause it to be inconsistent. Okay. Disadvantages. Okay, you're aware of the advantages. Let's talk about disadvantages. The process of normalization can be very complex and is a specialized skill. So probably you need to know all the rules through which you could normalize the data. You should have a skill for doing that. The next point might surprise you, but it is. The process of searching the database may be slower. This is because a normalized database requires greater uses of device central processing unit due to link between tables. Yes, this actually happens because of creating relationship and because of um, creating normalized form. The searching of data at times becomes really slow, really slow for the CPU. Okay, it somehow contradicts this process, but yes, it's an advantage and it's a disadvantage as well. The database is easy to search as there is less data to search through. This is something else. You are getting rid of unwanted data, and due to that, it's easy for you to search through the records. It's an advantage. But if you talk it as a disadvantage, because of the relationship that you made between the tables, the CPU has to do a lot of multi-threading, and the processing of the computer really becomes slower. If data is mended in normalized database, then all the matching entries are mended. This means that the previous data used is deleted and can no longer be seen in any entries. Okay, so please again, you have to know all these advantages and disadvantages. They're really important for your upcoming exam. Okay, let's have a look at zero normal form. We have the artist ID over here. We have the artist name, venue ID, concert venue, concert date, agent name, agent email. All right. Let's have a look. Okay, you can see from looking at the database, there are repeating entries for each artist. Yes, there are. This means that there is more than one entry database. These fields, concert venue and agent name, need to be atomic. What do we mean by that? You can see over here that we have over here is the agent name. We have the forename and we have the surname in one field. We have the Bill Richards in one field. We need to separate Bill in a separate field, and we need to separate Richards into a separate field, naming it as agent's first name and or agent's surname or agent forename. Same way, we need to separate the concert venue because we have two places. One is where the venue is taking place, and one probably is the place or the city. This could be separated as well. So this is what we need to look at. This means the data in the field could be broken down further. For example, the agent's first name, agent name, this could be broken down two fields. Another field database is record does not have unique identifier. Okay, so we can take this unnormalized database into first normal form by making sure that each field is atomic, only contains one item data, and giving each record a unique identifier. We do not need to remove any repeating entries in the record as non-occurring in database. So what we've done over here is, you can see, is we have the location separated and we have the concert venue separated. We have the first name and the last name separated. Okay, so we have now made all the fields in the database atomic. We have done this by breaking them down. There is no single field database at the present that is unique for each record. There is no single field in the database at the present that is unique for each record. Yes, there isn't. In order to create a unique identifier, okay, we don't have any unique identifier. Okay, we don't have one, right? We have some email addresses which are being repeated. We have some names being repeated, dates repeated. We can see everything is being repeated. So remember, I just talked about composite key. What's composite key? Let's see. In order to create a unique identifier for each record, we need to combine three fields. They have been identified by the star, the asterisk, to create a composite key. This composite key is a unique identifier for each record, as only one artist will play at a particular venue on a given date. Now, what do I mean by this? If we talk about this information, and this information, if we combine these three and if we make another field over here, that will be composite key that consists of this, and this. And if you look at these three, for all the records, this will be different. I'll give you another example. For example, I have the first name, I have the email address that has the first name, the last name, okay, the first name and the last name, and the email address. Okay, so you'll always have all the information different. So when you combine one or two or more different columns and fields and you make another field, it's known as a composite key. A composite key that holds information from two or more different fields so that we can have a unique field created to uniquely identify a record. We don't need a composite key if we are creating a primary key, and this is what we will be doing in our primary key. So here we go. So the features of the first normal form are therefore, please remember that all fields in the database are atomic. All fields have to be different. All repeating fields have been removed. Okay, we have no repeating fields. A unique identifier has been created for each record. Okay, a unique identifier will be created for each record. Now that we have taken our database to second normal form, we can take it to second normal form. In second normal form, we'll have this. What we'll do is, you can see over here, we have separated our artist details separately from our venue details separately by giving it a venue ID. Okay, then we have is the artist bookings separated by giving it a concert ID. Okay, so we all have separated them by introducing a primary key. So the features of the second normal form, sorry, this is wrong, this is second normal form, therefore are, the database has all the features of first normal form. Related data has been separated into different fields. Each table has a primary key. The fields in each table are dependent on the primary key. Now we have taken our database to second normal form. We can take it further in third normal form. What you can see over here is that over here we have is artist ID, artist name, agent first name, agent. So we can separate the agent's information separately by doing what? By providing agent details and giving an agent ID. So what you can see now, I have is 1, 2, 3, 4 tables created out of one table. I had one table in my unnormalized form in the very beginning, just one. So I've broken it down into 4 tables, and this is my third normal form. And here you can see by breaking down, so the third normal form will have, the database has all the features of second normal form. Fields have been further separated into tables that contain only fields that are directly related to each other. So artist IDs, artist bookings, agent details, and venue details. So you can see over here is this is what normalization is all about. You have done normalization in your AICTE papers before, November 2013 paper, okay, where you separated the bankers. Let me just, okay, you can have a look at for example.
Are recorded as check, credit card, and DD for direct debit.
At the
renewal dates are given as text in short month form, such as N for November.
At the moment, all the details on the members is held in single tape spreadsheet.
At the moment,
create database using the data which
members
must be split into 3 tables. You see,
Create a database
this
using
is what
the data in
normalization
which-
is. We have been
which
doing
must
it.
be
This is
split
your
into 3
November
tables.
2013
So what we
before.
need to do is we need to split the information, the fields, into 3 separate tables: member details, membership status, and the music scores. So first of all,
So
membership
this is what we did.
So,
We separated the information.
This. Yes, we do need the following. So I'll do it. right?
Okay.
Well, you can
And let me just take it
Include
further and
field.
let me show you what we did.
define item.
Well, just directly go to the relationship.
Wait, I'll take a screenshot
And
of
this
this
is
and I'll
what we
place
have.
it in my
Look here. Oh, let me just take you back.
reference doc.
Look here. I have the member details where I have the member ID and the information. I have the membership status where I have the membership ID, the status, the contact method, the payment, and the renewal. Then I have the music choices with member ID, pop, and all that. So I separate one table into 3 different tables where again I have the member ID, member ID. Yes, this example is different because I have member ID everywhere. In the example that I explained to you over here, we created unique identification for every table. We can do that as well. Okay, unique. So this is the process of normalization. If you still have any queries of understanding it, you can go to my website and you have normalization activities. I have solved the first one over there, and there are 3-4 more that you need to do. Once you solve them, you will get a further idea of what normalization is all about. Okay, look at the following example. Study, you can pause the video and you can study this table. I have the project code, the project title, the project manager, project budget, employee number, employee name, department number, department name. You can see in many cases, for example, let's talk about M. Phillips. You can see over here is this information is being repeated again. You can talk about, for example, A. Smith. You can see over here is A. Smith, department number, department name. A. Smith, department number is L004, and then IT. You see a lot of information is being repeated. We are wasting a lot of space. If you convert this unnormalized form into first normal form, this is what we get. We can separate project code, project title, project manager, and project budget into one table. Look here again. And then we could have another table where we could have project code, employee number, employee name, department number, department name, or hourly rate. Right? Further, we can have the first normal form into second normal form. Okay. Please go through the following text. You can read this as well. Pause it and read yourself. Into this, I can further do is separate my second table into this. I have project code, employee number, hourly rate. Then I have the employee name and employee's information separated. Okay. Third normal form will be non-key dependency removed. So I can further separate my department into that my department is now separated, which it was not separated over here. Okay, my department was linked with employees. So what I've done is now I have separated now. Okay, so you need to think over it how to do it. Please complete the activities so you have more idea about what normalization is.